Welcome to AC 24/7's Top Story Countdown. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist. Right now, I'm here to guide you through the biggest stories of the day. Here's our pick for number 4.
We'll be right back.
Late night viewers, brace yourselves for the return of Jon Stewart. Just in time for this year's presidential race, the 61-year-old comedian returns to his former program, The Daily Show, on Comedy Central, at least every Monday. He'll executive produce the show and work with a rotating lineup of hosts for the rest of the week. After nearly 9 years away, viewers will once again experience Stewart's left-leaning brand of cutting humor about politics, corporate America, and the news media.
I think his impact will be pretty big as far as one particular entity goes. He's always been able to jump on the absurd and really pound it and pound it.
For 16 years as host of The Daily Show, Stewart reached an audience beyond just political junkies.
Everybody watched, everybody tuned in, and a lot of people, especially young people, learned their news from The Daily Show. He was an enormous force in American society.
Increasingly, Stewart wore his politics on his sleeve, gravitating toward interviews with figures like Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren.
They've told you nothing!
It's not that exactly.
Stewart left the show in 2015 at the height of Donald Trump's rollicking first presidential campaign.
What the is wrong with him? It is hard to get mad at Donald Trump for saying stupid things. In the same way you don't get mad at a monkey when he throws poop at you at the zoo.
Stewart turned to other projects, supporting 9/11 first responders, a movie project, and a short-lived show on Apple's streaming service, while the show he once helmed lost much of its viewership and its voice.
In terms of a ratings vehicle, which is how a lot of television execs keep score, it dropped a lot.
Now, many Democrats are gleeful over the prospect of Stewart's potential broadsides aimed at the presumptive Republican nominee.
Donald Trump is going to give Jon Stewart so much golden material that the Joe Biden campaign won't be able to put a value on it.
Whoa, Joe Biden!
But Biden could be a big target as well.
People should remember is that Stewart wasn't afraid to criticize both sides in his monologues, in his routines.
The Advocate Channel looks at the world through the lens of equality, community, hope, and inclusion. AC 24/7's Top Story Countdown continues with our producer's pick for number 3.
When it comes to Alzheimer's, the earlier the detection of the disease, the better.
Maybe change the trajectory and progression of disease better in an earlier stage.
Geriatric medicine specialist Dr. Babette Tusi with Cleveland Clinic says early detection also allows patients to plan for the future. In a new study, researchers say a simple blood test has high accuracy in not only detecting Alzheimer's, but catching the disease even before symptoms begin to show. The test screens for a type of protein called phosphorylated tau or p-tau.
It shows that very promising, that correlates how likely somebody has this abnormal high level of p-tau in the blood may have those amyloid plaques in the brain.
Tusi says this test is much less invasive, less expensive, and potentially more accessible than traditional screening tools, which could get those at high risk for the disease help earlier.
This one is more tailored, more customized, and people have better understanding if we really are heading to our Alzheimer direction, or if it's not and it's negative, it has its own value to explore other alternate for cognitive changes.
For Health Minute, I'm Andy Gaither.
The Advocate Channel is now streaming live on Amazon Prime in the News app. Watch us there or go to advocatechannel.com. AC 24/7 continues with today's top 2 pick.
You may be receiving your W-2 form soon if you haven't already. And while the tax deadline is still a few months away, tax experts recommend filing your taxes early.
Get your taxes in.
As you begin to fill out your 2023 taxes, you may notice some differences. The IRS made several changes to the income tax brackets to help adjust for inflation.
They adjust certain tax benefits every year, but for tax year 2023 is the most they've been adjusted up in decades.
This means you may end up with a bigger refund. Here's why. In 2022, a person filing as single, earning between $41,766 to $89,075, paid 22% of their income to the IRS. In 2023, though, that tax bracket jumped to $44,726 to $95,375. That's a 7% change. Other changes? The amount of money you can claim in energy credits.
We always had the electric vehicle credit for up to $7,500, but there's also a credit for used electric vehicles now up to $4,000.
If you've made energy efficient improvements to your home, like installing new windows, you can also claim up to $1,200 in credits with no lifetime limits, instead of $500, which is what it was previously. There's also changes in tax credits for families.
If you're a family with 3 kids, it's $7,430.
So how much money can you expect to receive back? Last year, the IRS says the average refund was $3,039. But with the tax bracket changes, you can expect more. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
The Advocate channel is your news source for news, entertainment, and trending stories. We're highlighting the advocates in our community. We have now arrived at our #1 story of the day. Take a look.
Masks do not work.
Just a year ago, Moms for Liberty was wielding power over hundreds of school boards across the country, waging a culture war, even garnering support from presidential candidates.
You have taught the radical left Marxists and communists a lesson. You're the best thing that's ever happened to America.
The Joyful Warriors, as they call themselves, uniting moms around the nation to join forces.
But we are also warriors, meaning if someone is demonstrably harming our children, we are going to come together to fight to protect them.
Their mission, they say, to protect parental rights in public school education at all levels of government.
It's either you're focused on protecting parental rights or you're going to improve education in your community.
Their critics, however, say their objective is very different.
I think that things have gone too far and people are finally standing up to say, you know, this is my choice. These are my kids as well, too. You don't get to make these decisions for us.
Jennifer Jenkins, a school board member in Brevard County, Florida, unseated Moms for Liberty co-founder Tina Deskovich.
This organization was founded by 3 school board members, and no one has ever asked them, what did you do while you were in the school board when you had the power and the opportunity to make these changes you claim are so important to you?
She and others say what Moms for Liberty do care about is control.
The first deal was with the masking, and Moms for Liberty didn't want the kids to be able to wear masks.
Virginia Hamilton was a public school teacher for 31 years. She joined the group Stop Moms for Liberty because she feels Moms for Liberty isn't about liberty at all.
Then it went further. It went into next the book banning. Now, Moms for Liberty is pushing for curriculum changes.
But now, amid a slew of recent salacious news stories featuring the conservative group, including a sex scandal involving the husband of co-founder Bridget Ziegler, some say the group's influence is waning.
People are seeing, you know, news cycle after news cycle, the hypocrisy of the things that they advocate for and they say they stand for.
Moms for Liberty insist none of that is hurting their cause.
I think that that was a very sensational headline that went around the world very quickly. That's not, you know, who Moms for Liberty is. We stay focused on defending parental rights.
But the numbers tell a different story. According to Moms for Liberty, in 2022, 55% of the 500 candidates the group endorsed won their race for school board, while in 2023, only 43% of 202 endorsed candidates won seats. They insist they're not losing traction.
To say it's waning, I think that's ridiculous. We are just doing the work that we're doing.
The group also says they are a grassroots organization, not politically motivated at all. Yet nearly every Republican presidential candidate attended a summit they held last summer in Philadelphia.
It's because they know that moms are passionate about these issues.
Despite their insistence, they're not losing ground. The conservative group has recently tried expanding into more liberal states. Just last week, holding a town hall meeting in New York City, which was met by a protest from local parents. Back in Florida, educators like Jenkins and Hamilton, both happy the group's influence seems to be waning, are still worried about the long-term effects of what the group started.
They infiltrated that state legislature. Those laws are not going to just go away because Moms for Liberty goes away.
We want the teachers to feel like they can teach again, and it was all taken away.